What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming to Politics and Life. This is Jordan. Hope you're all having a fantastic night. Please like, comment, and hit that subscribe button below. We are going to be reacting to the interview that Kamala just released today. It's just as embarrassing as the debate. No topics. She deflects, and she really doesn't give a clear, distinct answer on what she means by her new economy, whatever the hell she's talking about. I don't really get why she just keeps offering a bunch of free shit and thinks that's going to impress the American people. They think we're retarded on the left. They think we have no brains. They think we don't know what policy is. And they don't think we are smart enough to debunk and look up the obvious lies she is telling on a daily basis. So we're going to do that together and we're going to react to the interview. I already know how it's going to be because I know who Kamala Harris is as a person. She is a terrible person. She is a narcissist and she only cares about herself. She is willing to lie nonstop to get to the top spot. And that is what's most important about. That's the most important to her. It's just being in power, not helping people. Because if she would have helped someone, she would have done it the past 4 years. I love how people are buying the hope BS that Obama pushed because Obama did nothing for our country. He pushed the gay agenda. And on top of that, funded ISIS and created ISIS. And yeah, and with Bush, he was just as bad. I mean, we have really never had a good America First policy president that kind of kept all of his promises like we did with Trump. And that's why I will go down constantly saying that in my lifetime, Trump is the best president policy wise, which you should vote on because that's what runs countries. Best policy president I've ever seen in my life. And I have dug into past presidents, but I do think Trump was the first non political president. Like he wasn't a politician and he actually kept his promises. And it's different from what we're used to, where they promise us a bunch of shit and they don't do none of it. Or Trump, he actually did what he said he was going to do. So nothing but respect. But anyways, let's get into the video. Road to 500 subscribers. We are almost there. Another breaking record month. So I appreciate all the love and support you guys have been showing me over the past few weeks. Please subscribe if you're watching on Facebook or Twitter onto my YouTube. It is Politics and Life. Or you can search California, J as in Jordan, B as in Bat, 5460. That's how you find my YouTube channel. Let's get it started.
All good? Okay.
She looks so nervous right off the bat.
Awesome. Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election. You hear it more
before she goes on her rambles. Did you guys see what happened outside the firehouse the other day where Biden and Kamala walked in together? Was it New York, I believe? And no one got up and cheered. But the minute Trump went in, everyone stood up and cheered. Could you imagine being there present, Kamala or Biden, and seeing that, knowing the people don't mess with you? They don't like you guys. But everywhere Trump goes, regardless if it's a Democrat state or not, everyone's cheering up in arm with him.
People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we can drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices,
what does that mean?
Making life more affordable for people. Yeah. What are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
Here she goes again.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses.
Get to the point, Sherlock.
I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. You know, and
oh my God, he asked her what you meant by an opportunity economy, and she goes straight into how she was raised and how people cared about how their lawns looked. Cannot believe that the Democrats take this person serious. Like, this is just ridiculous how stupid she is.
Believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
What?
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have
this is so fake.
Ambitions and aspirations.
Oh my God.
But not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions.
Yeah, why is that? Because you are providing all these resources that you are literally saying right now to illegals off our taxpayer dime, you dumb fool. What is this woman? Wow, I gotta shut up.
So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people,
What does that
and
mean?
creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked.
So she didn't, she just said she's looking to give loans out to people who are starting small business. She didn't tell how, she didn't say where the money was coming from. She's just talking about how she was raised. This has nothing, she has not even started the answer or under couple minutes in. He said, tell us about what you meant about the opportunity economy. And so she goes into how people cared about how good their lawns looked and how she grew up. That's all we've heard so far, and then she's just using word salads as usual.
Long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally, she mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities, not to mention, really, I think, the backbone of America's economy. So, my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000.
All right, and where does this 50 grand magically appear out of our assholes? Or are you going to pay for it, Kamala Harris? Because I don't see how you saying that we're just going to start handing out cash like it's fucking just shredding being pulled off a tree like it's free or something. Where's this money magically going to come from? So in the 3 minutes we've been going, she just says that she's going to give people free money, and that's all I've pretty much heard so far.
But investing in people's innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage.
Yeah, because they're giving them to illegals.
In particular, for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is
I
to
agree
work
with
with the
that.
private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government to build, and my goal is 3 million.
You got to catch every little thing she says, because I don't think she realized how stupid she comes off. So so if you work with the government, as she just said, you're going to get a tax credit. So all I'm hearing from so far is offering all this bunch of free shit and free money to people. That's it. So I guess that's an opportunity economy. She's giving out free money.
My first term. In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do to save and to pay that mortgage and to build.
I wish we can go from 50,000 to 150,000, because in the state of California, they're allowing first-time illegal home buyers to be able to access up to $150,000, I believe it was, for first-time homes, and be put at the top of the list. So if you want to help Americans by making it more affordable, how about you put their names to the list instead of these illegals that you're just hooking up with their taxpayer funds? That would be a good start, not just handing out more free cash that comes from the taxpayer. This is incredible that she is the presidential nominee.
Wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired, who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
That was the worst first answer I've ever seen. So out of that 5 minutes, and I'm sorry I'm pausing it so much, I'm just trying to kind of react as she's commenting and saying this stuff. So in the 5 minutes, she said she loves lawns, that she grew up in middle class, and that everyone should just be entitled to free money if they want to start their own company. Okay, whatever you say.
At the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yeah.
I think some people have a question. given maybe your current role as vice president of the United States.
Why didn't you do it
how
already?
different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work and maybe focusing.
Look, she keeps on swallowing, like gargling, like she gargles a penis in her mouth. Like that's how she got up in fame, as we know, by sucking that penis. This woman, it's amazing. She's talking about the same thing from question one. She's saying nothing new. Again, just giving out free money to people that deserve it, I guess.
On again the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes for their kids. And so my approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment. And also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20
But
years.
what are you going to do? You can continue to say this is what we need to do, but what are you actually going to do to make it perfect? Like better, not perfect, but better. All I hear is a lot of what we need to do. Why haven't you done this already? You have been vice president for 4 years. You can tell they're trying to distance herself from Joe Biden's like weak administration, but that's just not going to fly. Americans aren't buying it. And we're not dumb like that. That's an insult to our intelligence. She should have done what she is talking about the past 4 years when she has been vice president. That's why you can't believe her words go based off her actions.
Years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Crime and public safety are two major issues, right at the forefront of voters' minds in Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking.
Who believes that shit?
I support the Second Amendment, and
I've already played videos of her in the past talking about taking away your guns. They are bringing in the great replacement theory right in front of us, where they replace us with legals by opening the borders worldwide, and then they drain the resources and give them to these illegals. So don't buy what she's dishing for a second. Her actions the past 4 years has easily shown that they do not care about Americans. They don't care about America. All they care about is lining up their own pockets, and that's it. And they're willing for people to die, sadly, to get more money. And it's sad. It's very sad.
For reasonable gun safety laws. Part of my approach to this is I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have personally looked at autopsies.
Cool.
I have personally seen
No one cares
what assault weapons do to the human body.
No, you.
And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally.
What are you going to ban next? Cars? Because guess what? Cars hit people too. So you're going to ban that next? Or if someone gets stabbed, you're going to ban knives next? This banning shit just does not make sense. Put more guards, put more military or ex-military or cops or ex-cops outside schools to protect our most vulnerable. Problem solved. Metal detector, lock the schools when they're in school sessions. That will solve the mass shootings right there. Also, I can't with this woman. It's amazing how dumb they think American people are in general.
Tools of war. They were literally designed to kill a lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that.
Unfortunately, though, the criminals don't get background checks. So if you take away our guns, the law-abiding citizens, and then you stack up and you provide these illegals while you're giving our houses up and giving it to them, so you're going to be giving them guns while you're taking away our houses and guns. That's the great replacement theory, guys, right in front of us currently happening. And if you elect Kamala Harris, it will be the final nail in the coffin for Americans.
Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon if they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You just might want to know.
Two final questions, if I might.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. Mm-hmm. He has an historic appeal in this country. And as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be? And how do you speak to his voters, or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
Democrats don't share the same values as us. She doesn't have as close as the same values as us. She's a demon. She's a Satanist. There's nothing that is the same value set with Kamala versus Trump supporters. We don't buy anything she's dishing. So I can see a lot of Democrats through time, especially these next few months with the open border crisis, slowly but surely make their way to the right, because you know what? It's just going to get worse. And you keep on electing these liberals, it's just going to get worse. And they finally are waking up. I really think the Democrat Party is a very small minority these days. I live in the state of California, and the love for Trump throughout the state is just unmatchable, because I'd say it's about 8-10 ratio, 8 for Trump, 2 for Kamala. And these people don't even know why they're supporting Kamala. It's just for women's rights. So just killing babies, even though a racist white liberal opened up Planned Parenthood to depopulate minority babies. A lot of Democrat voters don't even know that, which is this ridiculous.
I, based on experience and a lived experience, no. In my heart, I know. In my soul, I know that the vast majority
My
of
soul, I know.
Americans have so much more in common than what separates us.
That's true.
And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans, and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying to have us point our fingers at each other.
No, that's not true. He's just telling the truth. And that's what you guys don't like about him. Trump blamed you for the border crisis. You were the border czar, as we all know you were, and you did nothing to fix the issue. So it's not blaming, it's just facts. He's saying it is your fault. Well, because it is your fault. You were supposed to fix the border crisis. Take some action like an adult for once and stop your little sidelining where you try to divert the attention and deflect and blame Trump for something.
I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm exhausted with your
think
face.
People want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans.
All rhinos.
Who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congress member Liz Cheney.
I don't know if that's something you should brag about. The Republican base hates the people you just mentioned. So if you want to continue to use that line, Mitt Romney and the Cheneys are supporting you in the Bushes, good job. You're going to win no votes from the right for that.
And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country.
Oh my God.
We can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody.
She's pretty much saying, stop calling me out on my shit. Let's not talk about policy. Let's just get along and all be friends. This is what's wrong. The Democrat voters are soft. They want us to get along with everyone instead of actually fixing shit. Fixing shit might take some demands, some alpha shit, which is something you will never see from Kamala. You want to know why? Well, because she's weak, which is why everything's been invaded, which is why everything's gone to shit under them, which is why we're closer to nuclear war right now than we've ever been in our country's history. So anyone that's just sticking up for this woman, in my opinion, is just a retard at this point, not a serious person at all, nor should be taken as a serious person.
Together.
And finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way, they've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from anybody watching right now. I love my family. One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook.
Can't believe this is the serious
I
questions they're
have
asking her.
incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten.
Could you imagine if Trump had a softball interview like this where she's talking about what she does with her family or that she loves to cook? Like, come on. This woman is interviewing for the highest position in the land, the president of the United States. We are the world police. We are the freest and the best country to live in. And this is the best that the Dems have right here. I mean, she didn't talk about policy. She just talked about a bunch of free handouts. She talked about banning guns and then pretending like she owned guns. And now she's just talking about what she does for fun. This was not a serious interview whatsoever.
Arden is still my best friend. I think that, I mean, I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, you know, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay? And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election, in terms of turning the page and charting the way forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking for it. I am looking forward to cooking with the whole family.
This is so
involved.
cringe.
The kids each have their role. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful family, and we thank you for your time.
Could you imagine if they talked to the Trump kids like that or the Trump family like that? Like, it softest interview I've seen in my life. And you know what? I don't believe anyone's buying it. Before I go, I want to show you guys one amazing reaction from the debate that I thought was probably one of the best reactions I've ever that I've heard so far or seen. And I want you guys to see exactly what this very bright person who's not buying the Kamala Harris BS and what she says. I want you guys to see real quick.
Race baiting and fear mongering was a big part of her tactic tonight.
Part of Kamala's tactic.
Yes, Kamala's tactic.
Okay. What in particular would you remember about that?
Especially when she brought up the Central Park 5. I think that's a hot button issue, especially for a lot of African Americans, but she leaves out a lot of specifics to that. Like the lead prosecutor was a Democrat at the time. Back then, Donald Trump was also a Democrat. He wasn't always a Republican, and he was praised heavily in a good way for taking out that ad in the paper because a lot of people did think that they were guilty. So a lot of people that were against Trump now were once a big fan of his, and I think he was gaslit during the entire debate, and that was probably why he was so defensive. And even when he brought up the topic of race, he brought that up because she's pandering. She's using being Black as a trope to get the Black vote. I'm sorry. But instead of her leaning into it, I would have liked to see her lean into the fact that, yes, I am a Black woman, and this is my plan for Black America, but she clearly doesn't have a plan because she's essentially not Black. But she used that as a moment to paint him as a racist.
Yeah, there's nothing smart or intelligent about Kamala Harris. She is a retard. She slept her way to the top. She sucked her way to the top. She has done nothing beneficial for any of us in America. She locked up a lot of Black men as well and used them for cheap labor. While she smoked weed herself, these guys got charged with weed crimes, and she herself said she smoked weed. She's a liar. She's a Marxist. She's a communist, and she offers nothing beneficial to America. So let me tell you, if you are voting for Kamala Harris, you are part of the issue. You are open communists. You are for supporting groomers who are in our children's schools right now. It's disgusting. And this whole trans agenda, or as I call it, a cult, is my biggest issue. Also, if you guys are obsessed with Queers for Palestine or just Palestine in general, just move to Palestine. We'd gladly love it if all of you little Palestine obsessed weirdos want a ticket to Palestine. Deuces. That's what I gotta say about that. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. It wasn't as long as usual. I'm just doing a half an hour show tonight. Just wanted to react to the very embarrassing but expected Kamala Harris interview. She brought no policy as usual. She talked about her family and her life instead. Nothing to help us or benefit the American people in any way at all in that interview. He didn't question her about the open border with the illegals who are killing Americans while taking their jobs, while taking housing away from Americans and putting these illegals at the top of the list. That's this administration. And anyone cheering for this administration isn't a serious person at all. That's my opinion. Given it's not being taught. Oh, now we have a clown, ladies and gentlemen, saying that children are not being groomed in schools. I have seen plenty of videos, plenty of pictures. Actually, I saw 4 videos yesterday of what's being taught to 5 to 8-year-olds, and it's telling them how to have sex, 5 to 8-year-olds, and how to touch themselves. So, Mr. Little Turtle, aka Soy Boy, if you're a boy, white older liberal who are the most annoying if you're a girl, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. I don't need to have children in school to, oh, you're a teacher, so you know it all. You're probably the worst person you're the last person I want to talk to you. Straight up. You're one of those little liberal teachers that has a rainbow flag in your classroom, huh, and a little BLM sticker to the right. Fuck. People like you are the dumbest people in our country. All right, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Almost to 500. Love all the love and support I've been receiving. Turtles suck a cock for all I care. Have a great day, guys. Peace.